Throughout this process, at its most difficult moments, we have needed help from outside of us. So we brought George Mitchell in to deal with the politics of the Belfast Agreement, the Good Friday Agreement. We brought Chris Patten in to deal with the policing reform. We didn't ask Chris Patten to achieve a five-party political consensus. And if we had, we'd still have the RUC today, I would have thought. And then we brought General de Chastelain in to deal with the arms issue. And yet, on the two most important questions facing us, both our past and our present and our future, we think we can do this ourselves. And I think we're kidding people with all of that. We're too small a place. We're all emotionally attached to the last 40 or 50 years. We're stitched into the fabric of this place. And I was just saying to David during the interval that I think we need pens free of emotional ink to write the story of this place. Because there will never be one story or one truth. And, you know, we all listened to Ailing and Breege. They will come at this from two different perspectives, but they're able to hear each other. And maybe that is the missing piece in our piece, that we haven't listened to people enough.
Well, if you boil that down into the realities of the situation, I have become a believer over the years that things only work here when the two governments are on board, and when the two governments work together. And I think that a mistake was made at the very early days of even the consultative group in the past, the James Bradley situation, because the Irish government didn't come on board. Now, I take some responsibility for that myself, because I pleaded with the Irish government to come on board and failed to convince them. But went ahead despite my misgivings that this could work without the Irish government. And I think I was proved to be wrong. So I think that apart from the bill, for example, at the moment, and apart from everything else, I will quote Gregory Campbell here at the moment. Greg always talks about the important to remember the context, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the context, of course, of all of this is that the two governments have never been further apart. And we are in a bad, I'm not too worried about the executive being up and running or the assembly being up and running. I would prefer they were. But I am very worried about the fact that the governments are so far apart.
Miles apart.
Yeah, that really disturbs me. I think that undermines the foundational safety that the Anglo-Irish Agreement provides for us. And I think that I spent 3 days in Oxford this year at the British Irish Association, and I observed the body language of the Irish government with very senior people there, and I observed the body language and the words of the British government with very senior people there. And it is quite clear that the Irish have tried incredibly hard to be decent, to be honourable within the situation. And my observation, whether people agree with it or not, is that this present British government are nigh impossible to work with.